Hi, my name's Dale, award-winning author of the book on chemical safety. For the past 15 years, I've worked with well over 1,000 businesses. In answer to the question in the email, it's C, risk assessments. What makes a compliant risk assessment, in particular for chemical safety? Working with those 1,000 businesses, I've identified my top 5 big COSHH mistakes. So here they are. Big mistake number 1, a risk assessment system destined for failure. This is if you haven't got any risk assessments in place, you've got risk assessments that pretty much are a safety data sheet, you're calling them cost sheet, that's a big no-no. You need to have task-based information on there. And if you've had a risk assessment that's been supplied by someone else who hasn't visited your site, that's a big no-no. Doesn't matter how much money you're paying them, if they haven't been to your site, that's your responsibility. You know, disclaimers, etc. on the bottom of risk assessments are a big no-no. They don't stand up in an industrial tribunal. So really you need to think about protecting yourself. And there's a whole host of other items on there. Please check below on the webpage below and you'll see all those items listed. Big mistake number 2, your risk assessments don't cover all the risks. Now again, I've put this scenario on the webpage below, but take my friend John for example. He works underneath a car, he's changing the oil, we've got a risk assessment protecting him from the damage maybe that the oil could cause him, but what we haven't covered is the moving vehicles outside that have just run over John's legs. And they need to be on the risk assessment. So again, keep it task-based and include the environmental conditions. That's why it's so important somebody's been on site to risk assess. And if you're doing it, then even better. Big mistake number 3. Your risk assessments are boring and inadequate for humans. Now, a lot of risk assessments I see, particularly from my new customers, are full of text. Some of them don't have any symbolization on. There are symbols out there that represent, for example, skull and crossbones, toxic. Most of us know that these are well-known symbols that tell us that there's danger, and they should be on your risk assessment. So take a look below at the examples. You need to be including them on them. You should be including PPE, so if there's personal protective equipment, you should have those blue symbols on there as well. So make them more visual, make them colourful, because it will help your safety and it will help improve the chance of the job being performed safer by your operator. Big mistake number 4, PPE or personal protective equipment is a last resort. In the risk assessment process, personal protective equipment is often used to keep the substance away from the person so it doesn't harm them. However, there are a whole bunch of other strategies that can be employed, and therefore PPE should be used as a last resort. If you check out the strategies below in the webpage, you'll see some of the examples provided. Big mistake number 5, if you aren't sure, then you don't know. One of my business mentors once told me that one of the most dangerous things in business is if you don't know that you don't know. So if you know that you don't know something or you're not quite sure, then you must seek professional help. If you put anything on there on your risk assessment that kind of you've sort of guessed, or you put, for example, workplace exposure limits on your risk assessment but you don't know what they mean, then providing that on your risk assessment is going to get you in trouble. You will get found out, so make sure you buy in the help and support. There's some examples below. If you need more information about a substance, a particular hazardous substance, go to the manufacturer. If they won't help you, change the manufacturer, change the substance, change the supplier. It's most important that you protect the person, especially because it could have cost down the road for you. What to do now? If you recognise any of these mistakes, then I've got available to you a free 20-minute consultation with my COSHH experts. It's completely free and it's only available to you if you act within 60 minutes from clicking the link in your email, and we will keep to it. This is because it's available to action takers that take their COSHH compliance absolutely seriously for their employees, for their workforce. So thank you very much for your time.